You're listening to the Strong and Powerful podcast. Find your strength, unleash your power, and live the life you want. The goal of this podcast is to help you develop mindset techniques to create a strong foundation of positive self-worth and body image, along with skills to overcome bullies and social media negativity. I'm Kira Langolf, your host, author of Mindset Makeover, and host of the Fit Girl Guide to Getting in Shape. I'll be sharing with you my personal and professional experiences to help you find your strengths and live your life as the strong and powerful person you are meant to be. Visit our website at strongandpowerful.com. This is podcast episode number 2, Change Your Thoughts and You Change Your World. Harness the power of your thoughts, how paying attention to your inner dialogue can free you from self-doubt. If you have ever felt the frustration and pain associated with failure, then this episode is for you. Learn to recognize destructive thoughts and begin to change your inner voice to be strong and powerful. Do you know the secret to success? Yes, you do. It's something you already have, something you've had all your life, yet probably no one ever taught you how to release and use this powerful force, this power that only you have. This major factor to success is inside of you, inside your head, your thoughts, your perceptions, your beliefs. It doesn't matter how you got the patterns of thinking you have now. What matters is that you recognize what works for you and what is not working for you. If it's not working, then it's an obstacle. Now is the time for you to take action and make changes. I know it's not easy. I've been there myself many times, but I also know that retraining the brain works. Right now, your biggest obstacle is inside your head. My goal is to help you turn your biggest obstacle into your biggest supporter. You may have heard the phrase, change your thoughts and you change your world. Begin to notice your thoughts. You might call it your self-talk or your inner voice. But notice these thoughts and the feelings associated with them and your behaviors. The more you know, the more you will be able to make helpful and effective changes. And as you continue this habit, you will recognize that thoughts tend to repeat. Thoughts, that inner voice, can also be called self-talk. Self-talk is those little conversations that go on inside your head thousands of times a day. Your mind is constantly in motion. So begin to notice these conversations and the attitude and words you use. Listen to yourself. Is your self-talk helping or hurting you? Is it constructive or destructive? Is it a friend or is it a foe? If you have ever felt the frustration and pain associated with failure, then this first topic is long overdue. You need to understand that you are not the problem. You are not the obstacle. Your thought patterns are the problems that cause the obstacles. Flawed thought patterns have been reinforced in your brain for years, and you probably don't even realize that you have negative or self-sabotaging thoughts. Don't worry though, we're going to expose your flawed thought patterns and change them to powerful, productive thought patterns. Practice and patience is necessary. You've heard the saying, practice makes... Can you fill in the blank? Did you say permanent? Probably not. You probably said perfect, right? Whatever you practice incorrectly is still going to be incorrect no matter how many times you practice. So practice does not make perfect. It makes it permanent. Nothing magically changes due to repetition. It just becomes reinforced, which is how negative and self-sabotaging behavior got implanted in your brain. The good news is that with recognition, you can change those flawed thought patterns to ones that will support your goals and make reaching those goals much easier. Once a new thought pattern is determined, you reinforce the change with repetition, also known as practice. Your goal this week is to recognize any negative or self-sabotaging thoughts and write them down. You might not catch yourself right away because these thoughts are so ingrained. I'll give you some examples of flawed thoughts that can be very damaging. I feel fat. I never finish anything. I'm always late, or I'm always wrong or poor. I'm not good enough. I can't, or I could never. I'm just lazy. I wish I... Think of those things you say to yourself that you would never say to a child or a friend or anyone you might console. Those are likely the problem phrases. Self-talk can be a huge benefit or your worst nightmare. Your mind takes everything you tell it literally. What you believe is true in your mind, but not necessarily in reality. We'll cover your belief window in an upcoming episode, but for now, realize that your continuous thoughts become beliefs. It does not matter if these thoughts have any amount of truth or not. Much of your self-talk comes from the programming of other people. What you are told when you're young, comments made about your appearance, comments made about your work, put down, sarcasm, jokes, and criticism have all molded your self-talk. All your life you've let other people control and influence your self-talk, but not anymore. You are about to become your biggest advocate and best supporter. You can learn to support your efforts and goals. What or who do you think you are? Have you ever really thought about how you view yourself? Not how you want others to view you or how you think others do view you, but you. How do you view you? What do you think of you? Now I'm going to give you a very important exercise. You need to describe the person that you think you are. So take some time to get some paper and write it out. Take some time to think and actually do this exercise, as it will reveal what your true focus should be. Next, describe the type of person you want to be. Now, write phrases that support what you want. Write phrases that reverse the negative thoughts you wrote down earlier. Make them positive present tense I am statements and repeat them daily. I've actually created a worksheet to help you put this on paper. Word on paper helps us more than anything else, so be sure to do this. Your mind wants to be consistent with your actions, whether you realize it or not. Sarcastic self-talk does a great deal of harm, so be careful what you tell your mind. It makes no difference if you think or speak these negative words. What your mind hears, it believes to be true. So pay attention to your thoughts and your words. You'll often repeat the same phrases several times a day. Write these phrases down. Get a journal to keep it in. And next episode, you will learn how to use the formula for success to change any destructive thoughts. Now, there's a few categories of thoughts that you may find your mind drifting into. And if you do, make sure to write these on the log as well. The first is catastrophizing, or turning everything into a catastrophic, monumental event. This is the mind's what-if game. It snowballs the worst-case scenario of the future with worried thoughts. What if this happens? What if that happens? And these thoughts increase anxiety and depression. The second category is blaming. This is a mind trap in which some uncomfortable feeling is expelled by holding ourselves responsible for another person's pain or holding others responsible for your pain. The problem here is that when you perceive the issue as lying outside of you, you give away your power to affect change. The third category is called rehashing. This is when your thoughts reflect on past circumstances, going over them again and again, often in an effort to figure something out. And the fourth category is rehearsing. This is the mind practicing for some future event, playing through it again and again. All the possible ways that this could unfold. So as you use the downloaded worksheet to write down some of these thoughts that may be causing you problems, think about those categories. Go back and re-listen if you need a little more clarification, because it's going to be important to categorize that self-talk that's keeping you down. Only you can make change happen. And by keeping a notebook or a journal and writing these exercises down, you are helping to reinforce the positive steps you need to take to make a positive change in your life. It's time to put the blinders on. Focus only on what you think and focus on yourself. Ignore what other people say, because what matters most is what you say and think to yourself. You can download the worksheet at strongandpowerful.com. Sign up for the newsletter, and I can also email you the worksheets as we go along in the Strong and Powerful podcast. Thanks for listening to the Strong and Powerful podcast. If you like this show and want instant notice of new episodes, sign up at strongandpowerful.com. Until next time, stay strong and powerful.